What are your thoughts on gold now that Janet Yellen came out dovish as you were looking for?
Well, I think you get the bounce, but still gold is in a range that looks like 1185 to 1235 to me. To get gold to break out big time, you need the Fed to take it a step further. What I think has happened this year, for those of you who play poker, you're going to get this analogy. If you don't play poker, I'm going to lose you like now. But if you play poker, you're playing Texas Hold'em, what we've had happen is basically everyone's put in their chits. We've seen the flop, okay? We've seen the flop. Russell 2000 down, bond yields down, rate of change in U.S. growth is basically half of what almost all the central planners saw at the beginning of the year. So that's a lot of cards. The flop's down. Next, we need to see the turn, and then we need to see the river card. The turn and the river card, that's what I want to see next, which is the Federal Reserve saying explicitly there's more that we can do. And then actually doing it. That's the river card itself. On that, that's when gold has a much more, I think, meaningful move, maybe a breakout above 1235. 1235 is a really important level. You couldn't get above it this week, and I don't suspect that you will get above it until the Fed articulates or again shows us the next two cards. The question on when that happens, of course, is the catalyst. I believe the next Fed meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's October the 29th. 29th. So October the 29th, you might get something explicit. But, and I said this to a lot of people in London throughout the week, you know, don't forget, and it's still not October the 29th. So you have a lot of time. And I do think that that's why the Quad 4 is so pervasive in the marketplace right now, because the only thing that gets you out of Quad 4, if only for like a Viagra moment, is the Federal Reserve doing what the Europeans just did. The Federal Reserve has to try to move back to the third quadrant. The only way that you go to the third quadrant, again, getting inflation to accelerate instead of having deflation, is to devalue. So again, to get them to do that is their next move. How long or how much the market believes their move, I have no idea. But again, we just saw a pretty violent turnaround yesterday in the face of what was a pretty hopeful bounce on the dovish minutes.
Awesome. And then just as a follow-up to wrap a Tiffany box around that, if gold does break out of 1235, what's the next stop for resistance? And if it fails, what's support?
The long-term tail line for gold is 1267. So when we got above 1267 earlier in the new year, we went to 1380 in a New York minute. That doesn't surprise me. 1267 was a tail line basically that had broken down throughout the 3 years after gold was topping. So what there was a fleeting moment of was that gold was going back to bullish trend and tail. What we currently have is gold bullish trend, bearish tail, which is a tough one. You don't typically see that. So again, what the next move in gold would be above 1267, I think you definitely have to see the turn and the river card from the Fed.
Awesome. We'll wrap it up there, folks. Thanks for joining us this morning. Catch you back here tomorrow, same time. Have a great day out there.